Okay, today we have a new chapter, chapter 6. We are talking about factoring polynomials. Today we are talking about factoring, and the first thing about factoring is we need to learn how to factor a number. The word factoring comes from that, is to analyze the number to small numbers, to prime numbers, and the product of those small numbers is the operation of factoring. So let's get an example for that. If I say the number 6, 6 is not a prime number, but I can say that 6 equals what? Equals 2 times 3. 2 is a prime number, and 3 is a prime number as well. 2 times 3 equal 6. So now 6 is the product of 2 and 3. Okay, so this operation, I call that I factored 6 to 2 times 3. If I go back, I say that, oh, I do a product, 2 times 3 equals 6. So this is the first thing. What if I want to factor another number? Like let's say 18. To factor this number, let's go to the prime numbers that makes 18. 2, 9, and 9 would be 3 and 3. So 2, 3, 3. So 2 times 3 times 3 equals 18. So I factor the 18 to 2, 3, and 3. How do I call that? This element, I call it the common prime factor. So 2 is a common prime factor of 18, as well as 3. 3 is a common prime factor of 18. All right, that's about numbers. How about something like that? X cubed. If I go through that, I need to make the same thing. X cubed could be x times x times x. So what's x? Common prime factor as well for x cubed. If I multiply, the product of x times x times x equals what? X cubed, if I go back. So it's factoring, and backward it's like product. So how about that? This is how we call the common prime factors. So how about making using the common prime factor for more than one number? What if I get, let's get that, let's say 12 and 16. Excuse me. What's the common factor of that? What's 12? 2 times 2 times 3. No, 16. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Right? So this is 2, 2, and 3. This is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Let's get the common prime factor here. 2 and 2. So 2 is a common factor. 2 and 2 is a common factor. So I have another 2. 2 2's. So this is common, let's say common prime factor, CPF. And this is CPF as well. I could multiply that together, like 2 times 2 equals 4. And 4 would be a factor for 12 and 16 as well. But because 4 is bigger than 2, I will no longer call it a common prime factor, but I'll call it another name, common greatest common factor. Or I could call it GCF. So, my definition of the GCF is the product of the common prime factors between 2 or more numbers. Let's take an example for that. How about those 3 numbers? Let's get the prime factors first. What's 15? 3 times 5. 75. 3 times 5 times 5. What's 60? 2 times 2 times 4 and 3 times 5. Let's get first, what would we get? The prime factor. 3, 3, and 3. So the first prime factor is 3. Get it down. What else? 5, and 5, and 5. Is there anything else? No. Okay, my greatest common factor is the product of the prime factors. So the product of 3 times 5 is what? Is 15. So therefore, the GCF is 15. Okay. From those ideas, we can get the steps how to calculate the greatest common factor. There are 3 steps to do that. The first step, to write each number as a product of prime numbers. As we did here, we write 15 as a product of the prime numbers 3 and 5, as well as 75, 3 times 5 and 5, 60, 2, 2, 3, 5. Number 2, identify the common prime factors. What are the common prime factors here? First one, this is 3 here, 3 and 3. Get it down. 5, 5, and 5. Get it down. The third step, the product of all the common prime the common prime factors found in step 2, while identifying the common prime factors, is the greatest common factors, or GCF. So the product 3 times 5 equals 15, which is my GCF here. Let me take a last example for that before finishing this section. (6t plus 18). Wow, that's different. Yes. You could have the two numbers here in a different way. It's like an addition or a sum, but I can get a factor here. Try to compare between 6t and 18. 6 and 18. What is the first step says? It says that write each number in a product of prime numbers. Try to write 6 as a prime number. It's like 2 and 3. How about 18? 2, 3, 3. What are the common prime factors here? 2 and 2, 3 and 3. So 2 and 3. What is the product? Is 6. So the greatest common factor here is 6. Okay, so let's get this down and say that 6 is the greatest common factor. How about getting this out? Like, I would say that this 6t plus 18 is 6 times t plus 6 times 3, right? Can I get this 6 out? And I do. My common factor here, and this is going to be 6 plus 3. If I go back to what I have learned before of distribution, if I distribute 6 here, so I will go that way, 6t plus 6 times 3 is what? Is 18. So this is factor. This is distribution. And by this example, we have finished the first section 6.1, the greatest common factor. Thank you, and see you in another section.